Ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, it's been a fantastic privilege to share this day with you at the Athens Roundtable. We've ranged from technical questions about frontier AI models to, if you like, the most human concerns about our children, our democracies, and our shared defence and security in our sessions this morning. And the common theme, I think, has been pretty clear. The stakes of AI are now so great that business as usual in governance, incremental, fragmented, optional, simply won't do. And what today's discussions, I think, have exposed is a global governance landscape that risks being pulled apart at the very moment that it needs coming together. The EU has moved ahead with a more prescriptive, rights-based AI Act, setting detailed obligations for high-risk systems and outright bans for some uses. The US, despite executive orders, still leans heavily on a market-driven, innovation-first model, with federal legislation uncertain and a patchwork of state rules emerging. The UK, for its part, has chosen a so-called pro-innovation and principles-based approach, relying on existing regulators and voluntary guidance at a time when many of those regulators lack clear AI-related powers. The result is an increasingly unstable environment for everyone who actually has to buy, build, and deploy AI systems across borders. Developers face competing definitions of risk and accountability, while users confront inconsistent protections and redress. And as trust in institutions erodes and geopolitical tensions rise, this fragmentation feeds the perception that no one is truly in charge of one of the most powerful technologies of our age. And one of the most striking points is that standards do now exist. We're no longer in the conceptual phase, ISO 42001 and related management system standards, NISTs, AI risk management framework, OECD principles, and sectoral technical norms give us a very usable toolkit for risk and impact assessment, testing, audit, and life cycle governance. And these shared standards are the bridge between high-level ethics and real-world accountability. Without them, principles remain rather decorative rather than operational. But the hard truth is that simply encouraging their use is no longer enough. Voluntary uptake has been patchy, shadow AI and unmanaged deployments are proliferating, and the systems with the greatest potential for societal harm are least likely to be governed by optional frameworks alone, although they may be useful preparation. If we truly believe that some AI-driven outcomes are unacceptable, large-scale societal destabilization, systematic discrimination, catastrophic security failures, then we have to be honest that purely voluntary regimes will not prevent them. So the call for action from this roundtable, in my view, should be unambiguous. For high-risk systems, especially those that are used in public services, critical infrastructure, law enforcement, financial stability, and the systems that shape the digital lives of children, adoption of established AI safety and ethics standards must become mandatory, not aspirational. Governments and regulators should require documented risk and impact assessments, robust testing and audit, monitoring and incident reporting, and clear human accountability before deployment, with proportionate sanctions when those duties are ignored. And the same logic must increasingly apply to powerful foundation and open source models whose capabilities can be repurposed at scale. Left entirely to voluntary self-governance, we face a race to the bottom in the name of innovation, in which the most capable models are also the least constrained. Mandated safeguards for powerful models, responsible release practices, security testing, traceability, and obligations on major deployers are essential if we're to ensure the genie does not escape the bottle without any meaningful accountability. Now, none of this means stifling innovation. On the contrary, clear and interoperable rules are what give responsible innovation room to flourish. Business needs clarity, certainty, and consistency if it is to invest with confidence, and public trust will only follow if people can see that their rights are protected and that someone is answerable when things go wrong. That's why today's conversation about unacceptable risks and serious incident preparedness should now translate into concrete steps, aligning regulatory approaches across jurisdictions, mandating core standards where the stakes are highest, and building the institutional capacity to detect, investigate, and learn from AI incidents before they cascade into crises. The message I hope and believe will come from this Athens Roundtable should therefore be a challenge as much as a comfort. Policymakers must be bolder. It's no longer sufficient to pilot principles, convene summits, and extol the virtues of standards while leaving their adoption to chance. If we want AI that strengthens democracy rather than eroding it, protects our children rather than profiling them, and supports a fair global economy rather than deepening divides, then we must move from shared concerns to joint enforceable action. And I hope that this message will let us collectively raise our sights and our standards. Thank you very much. Thank you.